So thank you very much for coming to the session this morning. It is focusing on kinesiology, and as Eva said, I got my Bachelor of Physical Education, and this was way back in '86. If you try to look for that degree now, you won't find it. Like the U of M has changed to kinesiology, U of W has changed to kinesiology, and it actually brings it online with what's happening across Canada right now. So phys ed basically has evolved into kinesiology, and we'll take a look at one of the current definitions, working definitions of what a kinesiology degree is, what it's about. CSEP, which is the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology, that is sort of a professional national organization that is in the process with all the things that are going on currently with personal training and the non-licensure that's going on. CSEP is it is the Canadian organization that is hopefully going to take our degree into licensure into the near future. That's being worked on right now as well. And yes, NCCP Level 3 Certified Judo Coach. I have second degree black belt and going for my third degree in December, and we'll see what happens. Does require studying. What I do now, it is publicly known as personal training. That word is out there. It's used a lot. I'm not comfortable with it anymore like I used to be, because we do more than just personal training. As Eva had said, I teach courses at the U of W, faculty kinesiology, and I work with athletes, a variety of different, like yes, judo athletes, but also badminton, track, volleyball, basketball, just a variety of different sports. I work with individuals that have the type 2 diabetes, they've had heart attacks, stroke, neural problems, neural disorders, whether it's MS or other related things, obese individuals, pregnant people, etc. So what we can do as kinesiologists, it's much more broad than just that. Corporations, we have Core Training and Therapy, which is my company. We have contracts with various corporations here in Winnipeg. We do seminars, short clinics, fitness classes, and then we just do general seminars, clinics for the general public. We also work with people that want fat loss, body composition changes. I'm seeing this a little bit differently from individuals that are classified as obese. The programming is quite a bit different when you start with somebody who's obese versus somebody is that just wanting to lose that 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds. I work with people that are post-therapy. They don't have pain anymore, but they want to get back into their job or back into the sport that they used to do and get to a level where maybe they don't want to get injured again. And then business owner as well, which involves a lot of paperwork, and I'll be telling you that's one of my least favorite things that I like to do. This definition of kinesiology comes from Ontario. Ontario is actually quite aggressive moving forward, getting kinesiology into legislation, which is one of the first steps for getting our industry licensed. And what I mean by that is if any of us wanted to become a registered dietitian or call ourselves a physiotherapist, you can't just call yourself that, because you will get sued and you will lose in the court of law. Anybody right now can call themselves a personal trainer. Anyone can call themselves a kinesiologist. And so what we're trying to do is move away from that. So kinesiology, this is a working definition, is a science of human movement encompassing both aspects, physical, psychosocial aspects. We promote and provide best practices in prevention, assessment, and intervention to enhance and maintain fitness, different from health and wellness, performance and function in the areas of sport, recreation, work, exercise, and ADLs, or what we call activities of daily living. How I got into the career, when I was 13, somewhere around the age 13, it's so far away because I'm almost 50 years old. I just like to think way back then. So when I used to be like around that 13 to 16 years of age, and you guys probably understand, like there's a lot of changes going on in your body, and what do I do? And there's just a lot of like uncertainty. And the only time I ever felt happy, the most happy, was when I was moving. So that's one thing that I figured out. The other thing that really impacted me, I had two gym teachers. One was a great gym teacher, the other one probably not so good. The great gym teacher, when I was doing things like track, and I was never a good athlete. I was never a good athlete. I just tried hard at stuff, and that's all he ever asked for. And so gymnastics, track, badminton, all these things that I did. The other coach, when I was in the process of dabbling in gymnastics, told me, you're too fat, you're never, and this is his words, you're too fat, you're never gonna be a gymnast, why are you bothering to do this? That was a really negative experience, and those two things I will never forget, and I think that might be one of the things that pulled me into this field. And at that time, I took what they call 100-level courses in high school to get into university. And at that point, again, was Faculty of Physical Education. And the other thing I find interesting is when I went into phys ed, I knew I didn't want to be a school teacher. I love working, like I coach kids in judo. It's just the system itself. It wasn't that, that's what I didn't want, but I didn't know what I was gonna do. So it was interesting. So when I graduated in '86 from the U of M with a Bachelor of Physical Education, which again now is called Kinesiology, my first fitness job was actually at the U of M for about 4 years. So I was working there at the same time finishing my degree, which did really help keep the bank loans down. And so Target Fitness at the U of M, first job, probably about 4 years, and doing fitness testing and teaching fitness classes, a variety of different things. My second fitness job was with City of Winnipeg, used to be called Parks and Recreation. Now they call it Community Services, and that was fitness coordinator. So a little bit more paperwork, which again, not my favorite subject, paperwork, but it is a necessary evil, I think, in a lot of different jobs. And fitness coordinator. So I still teaching fitness classes, but now at this point hiring fitness leaders to teach in schools like Laidlaw School, Pacific Junction, Dieppe School. It was around in that Assiniboine, Fort Garry area. Excuse me. So by this time, in '88, I was already doing personal training. And again, weird how it happened. I just had people say, well, you took phys ed degree, you should know what you're doing, can't you just put me on a program? So I was helping people, not really charging for it, and then I had people say to me, what are you doing, Barb? You should be, you got your degree, you should be charging for your services. So I did, started charging. You do a few phone calls, check what the going rates are for personal training, and I started charging. And then when it got to 1990, it was at the point like I needed more trainers. I couldn't handle the client load by myself. I was seriously training people at 6 in the morning right up until 10 at night. And I mean, you gotta have a life too and sleep. So that happened in '91. The training firm got created. Nobody gave me the name. It was just initiative. I took, what's those books called that help you with words? Not cinema. Yes, thank you. English was not my, it's probably maybe why I don't like paperwork, but never strong in English, always good in the sciences. Yeah, thesaurus. So I took a thesaurus and I just wrote down a whole bunch of like mixed mash of words all over the place, and that's what came out of it, was the training firm. And then in 2000, and it was just a mobile company. I would go to people's houses, I would go to the gyms that they worked out at. I didn't have a gym or facility myself. And then, of course, in 2000, 1999, I had clients, well, why don't you open a gym, open to do this? And so in 2005, core training and therapy was developed. And at this point, I am hiring people only with kinesiology degrees. Has anybody heard of CanFit Pro Fitness Leader? Yeah, I had a couple of people approach me. It's like, see you later. Not interested, because the amount of schooling that somebody has when they go to kinesiology and commit to study human movement, that's 4 years of learning how the body adapts and responds. And there's just no way. I'm not hiring a CanFit Pro individual over a kinesiologist, and I'm not trying to be mean or nasty. There are other places that will hire that level of certification. But where we're at, where this field is going and needing to move towards licensure, I'm one of the companies that's making choices. And my choice is hire people with kinesiology. And the certification that I go with is the CSEP, the Canadian Society Exercise Physiology. And there are also other facilities here in Winnipeg, the Wellness Institute, Rady Center, Refit Center, all they hire is people with kinesiology. So this field is really moving along. It's very exciting. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we are moving along. A typical day for me at this point, and this is being a business owner too, so the first thing, check messages with my email and my phone, and yes, it is a BlackBerry. Haven't gone to the iPhone yet. But apparently people have been harassing me, but I'm still comfortable with my BlackBerry. And then I'll teach a class if that's a day that I'm teaching classes at the University of Winnipeg, and then I'll train a client, whether it's off-site or on-site, meaning right at CORE, the facility. And then I'll go to CORE and what's going on, troubleshoot problems, and it could be the equipment's not working, get it fixed. Sometimes I'm fixing it. Learning curve is just like this when you're open a facility and you're the one that's responsible for a lot of different things. We're out of Kleenex and supplies and cleaning supplies. I'm the one that goes to buy them. Returning phone calls, emails at CORE because it's a separate email account. Emails about core services, somebody wants the training or maybe they want fitness testing so that they can apply to the police department or fire, etc. Chat with core training and therapy clientele, and then if we have a new staff that's come on board, part of my job is also to train them. If it's not a desk job, it's not sitting like, and it's also not a 9-to-5 job. So definitely a lot of interaction with people. I do my own workouts in between appointments, so I actually make appointments with myself. I found this very interesting. People will say to me, oh, that's why you're fit, because you're a personal trainer. But you know, when you're working out people, you're not doing anything. You're just like, go, and you can do one more, and you know, you're not doing anything. So you actually have to make time for your own workouts. Probably staying active in judo also helps me a lot. Again, most of my day is spent interacting with people. And the dress code, casual but professional. So not ripped or torn shirts or muscle shirts, things like that. You still want to be approachable to people that you're going to be servicing. So it can be golf shirts, but things that are definitely not business suits, but definitely not the shorts type of thing. I do traveling. The traveling, it can involve the off-site training when I go to other gyms or when I go to people's homes. It can involve giving seminars, clinics for corporations within the province or other provinces. For example, if there's a fitness conference in Saskatchewan or Ontario and somehow my name gets passed on, I might go do a presentation at a conference. I'm going to be doing a presentation this month, for a company in Brandon, and so a fitness seminar. So there is travel. You generally need to request payment, like so much payment per kilometer and then so much per hour of driving time. So generally you do get compensated for the travel. Yeah, and not a 9-to-5 jobs. I work days, evenings, weekends, and holidays. So if it's this sometimes can turn a lot of people off because they just want to be able to do that 9-to-5, Monday to Friday, and then go home and not think or worry about it. Things that I don't like about my job. The paperwork I was talking about, payroll, like making out payroll for staff. GST has to be submitted to the government. Like we collect GST, my company, people pay us GST for services. I have to take that, turn it around, and give the government the check that they want. So income tax, so that kind of stuff. And I have people that I pay to help me to a certain extent, but when you're a small business, there's some things that the more we do ourselves, the more we help control the income and expenses. Yeah, and I would rather clean than do paperwork. That's, that's how bad it is. As far as personal qualities and abilities, organization, there's 4 of them that I think are really important for what I do. The organization skills. I will never forget, we had a trainer that, and he's the funniest thing. He's not here anymore. He's off in another country. He's been there for 4 years, I think already, very happy. But I will never forget the day, like we had conversation, and I said to him, you know, you gotta write your appointments down. Don't worry, Barb, I have it all up here. Everything's in a steel trap. So, of course, what happens one day, one of his clients walks in and another one walks in at the same time, double booking. And it happened one more time to him because he thought, well, that was just a fluke, it won't happen again. It happened one more time to him. And thankfully, he didn't lose any of his clients. But I've taken enough phone calls from people that don't want to train with this individual anymore because they didn't show up or they had double bookings. They just didn't like the service. So, and that's a thing we have to be sensitive to. Consumers, we are consumers. We have the power, our money. And so we need to be sensitive to that. So organization skills, I think, are very important for our type of work. Helpful, like to be wanting to help people change, get to a different point in their life. I think that's important quality. There's sometimes some people that get in this just because they want to call themselves a personal trainer, and I think they might run into, well, I've seen people run into problems when they're just looking for the title and not honest, like seriously wanting to help. There's something else called a paradigm shift. And you guys know the difference between empathy and sympathy? Empathy, yeah, so that is a serious thing. I've seen a lot of people in my field burn out. Sometimes we're wanting to help people change so bad that we literally almost become a part of them. And it's, we need to be careful. There's got to be an emotional difference. So it's okay to be empathetic. We can walk in somebody's shoes and get an idea for what they're going through. But you can literally run into burnout. And our industry's lost a lot of good people. So this would be one skill that I think would need to be developed if you want to stay in this field for a long time, is to be able to do that paradigm shift. Like walk in somebody else's shoes, be empathetic for them, but be very protective of yourself as well. And the last thing is initiative. I think this is another thing that's very important. In our field, it doesn't get done unless you do it. And so it's not one of those things where, well, how come somebody doesn't do this, and why don't we get that, and why don't we do this? Well, you are the change, the way things are moving right now in the field. As far as pay and benefits, I hope this doesn't turn some of you off. But this is the way it is right now. The rate of pay can be anywhere from $25 to $120 an hour. Now it depends if you're a business owner or if you're a consultant / employee, because sometimes the rates that get paid are a percentage of. So when you go work for a company, you may be looking like the company may charge $50, $60, $70 an hour for personal training, but as the trainer, the kinesiologist, you'll get 50% of that, okay? So you do need to do a lot of checking around, but these are the rates going right now. And it definitely does depend on how, I don't like using that word, but so that's why it's in quotations, but it does depend on how effective you are as a trainer. And trainers that do a really good job for people, effective job, they command higher rates. And they tend to develop a big client base. There's work. You cannot get into this field and then put a sign up and say, oh, I'm a personal trainer, I can come. People don't just come to you. You need to give them a reason why. You need to develop and create your reputation and put yourself out there. And if you're working in facility, let's say at like Rady Center, again, our facility, Wellness Institute, so maybe you're working as a floor person or reception, there you can be expected $10 to $16 an hour. So often in this field, it's a combination of the benefits. I'm an independent business owner. I don't have benefits. I depend on well, I don't depend, I'll clarify that. I have no health care plan other than Medicare. And as far as pension, so I have my own RSPs. The main reason is because I've had a lot of clients give back to me. So as much as I gave to them, they gave back to me. And it's because of them that I have RSPs, which for me is my pension. And I am not depending on the Canada pension plan. Probably some of you, if you've been watching the news, there's lots of changes going on there too with the Canada pension plan and the old age pension. And unfortunately, I did not start my RSP until I was 25 years old. And like I said, I had one in particular client that really pushed me and helped me. I wish I would have started when I was 20 years old, 18, 19. I just didn't know. I didn't have a clue. But I did get started at 25 and very thankful because I know that's going to be useful. In the next 5 years, I do believe the demand for kinesiologists will increase. The medical system, I think most of you know, it is in a crisis. There's more and more people realize it's a personal responsibility. They need to take care of their health, and they need help fitting activity back into their lives. And their own way. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have as kinesiologists. And I think the biggest mistake, untrained personal trainers, they'll just give somebody else their workout plan. Well, it's not about you. It's not about the trainer. It's about your client. And we need to make fitness fit them, fit their lifestyle. Very exciting, the hospitals, there was just a bulletin job position, Victoria Hospital in the bariatric program, which is working with it's surgeries done on obese people. You guys have heard of the cutting of the stomach or tightening up the stomach and the liposuction. So surgeries related to obesity and helping people decrease body fat. So Victoria Hospital, they had a job position open looking for a kinesiologist. That was their requirement. And they preferred CSEP, CEP, but it wasn't mandatory. But again, I can eventually see job positions going to that. There's the WRHA, the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority, has a few kinesiologists that they've hired. So there are more and more jobs opening up that are in hospitals. I can see it coming into seniors' homes and business corporations, et cetera. So the main thing is yeah, we do need licensure in this field. Right now is very much a consumer beware market. There's a lot of advertising and just people trying to sell products and make money, which has nothing to do with changing a person's lifestyle. So a lot of information overload and information that's not effective. Now, for those of you that might be thinking, well, I don't want to be maybe a personal trainer, there's other things that you can do with your kinesiology degree. The CSEP, CEP, the Certified Exercise Physiologist. You can also be the CPT, Certified Personal Trainer. The U of W includes this in their programming. You can become an athletic therapist. Athletic therapists, those are the therapists that I hire at CORE. WCB, Workers' Compensation, MPI, hires athletic therapists to work with their patients. So that can be something that some of you might want to consider if you don't want to do the physiotherapy route. Coaching, you can become coach, and also sports psychology. So these are areas that you can go into with a kinesiology degree. High school requirements, general university entrance, bless you, if you want a Bachelor of Arts in kinesiology, but if you're looking for the science degree, which is what you'll do if you like to do what I'm doing, you're looking at chemistry and then either pre-calc or applied math, 40S. Yeah? So that's what they're looking for. And additional things, I do belong to the Manitoba Kinesiology Association. The field's not licensed. I don't need to pay to be a member, but I do because I'm trying to be part of supporting the movement forward to licensure. Insurance coverage that protects me, that comes via CSEP. So if somebody ever sues me, which has never happened, and I do my best to make sure it doesn't, but I do have insurance coverage. And then you also need CPR and first aid. So if this field interests you, you do need to be prepared to work hard. It's still unregulated, i.e. we don't have licensure. It was helpful if you seek ongoing learning opportunities, stay fresh, and I think the other biggest piece of advice I can give you is to expand your own movement repertoire. Get out there and try stuff, weight training, yoga, rock climbing, ultimate, rollerblading. Like if you've never done stuff, give it, like just once, give it a try. Taekwondo, like there's things that I've dabbled in, and it's just so that your body knows what it felt like to be in that position, because I can promise you it makes you a better equipped individual when you're trying to make fitness fit into other people's lives. Okay, and this is one of my favorite comics, Garfield. You guys know Garfield? Today I'm going to work on push-ups. So much for push, tomorrow we work on up. I love that one. Okay, and that's it. So you can check out our website.